Hey gang, welcome to another edition of Doc Schlock, where it's a review of the movie Grimm. Ugh. It's the story of a young woman who was kidnapped, and her husband didn't do a doggone thing about it. And it's up to some miners who are, well, actually I should say mine inspectors, to try and go after her. One of the mine inspectors is apparently possessed. Her name is Katie. She was messing around with a Ouija board one night, gets the glowing eyes, suddenly is possessed, and somehow has some sort of a connection with the monster in the movie. Well, Katie and the mine inspectors go down to try and find the woman who was kidnapped and apparently not quite eaten yet. And the monster goes around and starts killing just about everybody one by one, of course. Yeah. You know what the weird thing is? This movie was supposed to have taken place in Virginia, but actually it was taking place, I think, somewhere in New England or somewhere like that, or somewhere around the England states. Anyway. Yeah. So after the monster wipes everybody out and has this weird night vision-like stuff that almost makes the Predator vision look... Actually, the Predator vision still looks way cool compared to this crap. It winds up down to our heroes... Rob and Penny. And of course, Katie. Katie's still alive, too. And they find out that in order to defeat the monster, it has to be in some sort of light. Katie gets the connection to the monster to come near her, grabs it right underneath the light, and the monster and Katie turn into a stone fixture, trapping both of them inside. Rob and Penny get out of the cave, get out of the mines, whatever you want to call it. Wake up the next day and realize everything is okay. But there's one problem. The woman they went after is still in the mines, is still in the cave. And she is screaming her head off. Okay, so why did this movie suck? One of the worst gore effects of the movie is where the monster grabs one of the mine inspectors and crushes his head, and it looks like pie crust when he crushes his head. It just looks god-awfully ridiculous. A lot of the gore effects of this movie were terrible. There's one point where the monster is chopping something up with this big meat cleaver, and it just looks incredibly bad. Some of the characters are so annoying you can't wait for them to die. Some of the characters were actually pretty cool, and you hated to see them die. But that ending, you know, Rob and Penny waking up in bed the next day, and they're just kind of like, everything's going to be all right. And then you kind of sit there and think to yourself, you know, like, something doesn't feel right. And you see the woman they were going after still chained up at the bottom, screaming her head off, going, that's how they're going to end it? It's one of the worst endings ever to a horror movie. Yeah, Katie, the possessed Ouija woman, that was a little weird, a little ridiculous, you know, the constant glowing eyes and everything like that. I will give it credit, there's not a lot of I think there are several F-bombs in the movie, but it's not continuous like they do with most horror movies nowadays. But really, in all honesty, this movie is not all that good. It's not a winner, and it's really, really bad. It's god-awful. The gore in it's pretty bad. The acting in it is so-so, but you can pretty much pick out who's gonna get killed off next. So, yeah, it's a pretty predictable horror movie with a really bad ending. So I guess I could put it to you guys that way. All right, well, there you guys have it. There's my review of Grimm. This is no fairy tale, and if it was, it probably would have ended a whole lot worse. If you like my videos, feel free to subscribe. If you have a horror, sci-fi horror, comedy horror, fantasy horror movie that was just plain butt ugly from beginning to end, send it my way, and I'll get on it ASAP. Thank you guys so very, very much for watching, and until next time, as always, stay strong and rock on. You know, I have to tell you the truth, honestly, this is not quite as bad as Grim Prairie Tales. That movie was twisted. But then again, James Earl Jones telling a weird story about... You know what? I'm not even going to get into that. I'm just... Yeah, if you've seen it, you probably know the story I'm talking about.